Park.
It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Here's to you, Mike Mayo. Way to go.
Good afternoon, everybody, and happy almost weekend, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, coming to you live, as we are wont to do on Fridays, from Gulfstream Park, where I have a Bloody Mary, and Defo has a glass of white wine, and Lubie, poor Lubie, has a bottle of water.
Well,
how are you
he's
today?
He's the only professional among us. Yeah. Good to be out here. And you went to the Bloody Mary bar, and you are a high, critic of Bloody Marys in general. Well, you should be.
High level of a critic when it comes to
you're saying, high level.
You're
No, I'm not
reasonably.
I'm not just gonna go and get some cheap tomato juice in a can with some rock.
You know what makes
vodka.
a great Bloody Mary though is Nando.
Well, Nando
Well
inside
renowned,
here
yeah,
at
well
the
renowned.
Silks Run bar. We're here at Gulfstream Park. It is pre-Pegasus Cup day, and already, like you said, these days before big race
Feel
days,
a buzz.
there's a buzz. We came out here this morning, me and Lubie. We got here at our usual time. All the tables were gone. All the chairs. Like, you've got people set up, lining up and down the apron. They're ready for a full day of racing action today before the even bigger day of racing action tomorrow. Me and Lubie had to beg, borrow, and steal. We scavenged around all the different areas, and security guards were stopping me. You can't take that table. You can't take those chairs.
They didn't know who you were.
Well, let me ask you. You guys would be proud because I've learned a lot. And Andy referenced this. Like 12 years ago, I was a different person. When a table has a form on it and the chair's like this, that means you don't touch it.
Don't
right?
touch it. Yeah.
Okay, because I wanted to grab it so bad, but I'm
Racetrack
like,
protocol
I think that's
is if
etiquette to
they
not touch
if
it.
they have the table, the chairs tipped over and a form on it. It's the unofficial version of, even though there's no reservations here, we've got this table. Now, if it was me, because I did this a couple of weeks ago, I would just yank the thing away and say, we've got priority because I'm Mike Mayo, okay? I'm going to Bigfoot you every time.
You've gotten that kind of balloon-like head now.
We've got authorization. Well, I've got a balloon belly.
Oh, you're working on that.
Massive
You're going
ego.
to take it right off. You're going to take it right off.
I've got the backing of powerful people like Dave Joseph's Joseph
Joseph
Vice
could throw him
President.
right out of here. Yeah.
No, I
You
say,
know what's great about racetrack etiquette, though?
authorized.
I mean, going all the way back in the day, you could be some schlep, barely even qualified to come into the track, age-wise, and you could put the smallest piece of a racing farm on a seat in the grandstand in the middle of, like, Belmont Stakes Day, and, like, Prince Harry and Meghan could walk up and it looked like they were going to take your seat, and then you would point to the paper, and they would respect it. It was respected that you had the little piece of the racing farm tacked on the seat there, tucked in between.
As George
the panels.
Costanza used to say, we're living in a society, and there used to be rules and norms and
That was
boundaries.
nice. Those were good times.
And that people respected those
now you get
unwritten
shot
code.
for trying to get that.
Oh
the whole
yeah,
time.
if you were just. Oh man, but I'm just so excited today because
I know where you're excited. They put an ATM machine next to our
right
location.
here.
people can't
What are they
see
saying?
it
Yeah.
because
they
it's
saying?
I saw that. I said, Lubie, what did you do, man? I mean,
they knew,
I
to
can't
what
have
do
you
we owe
when
these
we
kind of
coming.
considerations?
they knew we were coming this week. But no, for these big race days, they set up different things and have more accommodations for people. Than they've got the portable ATM machine
I
they
love
set
it.
up
That's
outside,
amazing.
which
That's so fitting.
I'm going to save it for tomorrow. I brought a little bit of money in my pocket. I played the early.
If you
double.
unplug it and plug it, is there a chance a couple of sticks fall out?
No, there'll be a chance
like
that
if you unplug the
it'll
vending machine.
make a lot of tapped out bettors angry because that thing won't ever work again.
Yeah.
And then no, again, we'll be the courteous ones, and we won't unplug it. We did have enough
It was a
power.
fabled trip. I mean, in antithesis of all of the common thinking about ATM machines in gambling places, it was a trip to an ATM machine many years ago that triggered, I guess, my biggest score ever. As an individual at the track, when they only had one machine and it was malfunctioning, and I was going to go outside the track and go to the bank and get some more money. I really had brought like very little money with me, but it was early in the car, and I still had a lot of time to kill. I had to do something out here, and so I was too embarrassed to leave the grounds and go to the bank. So somehow they got the ATM machine working. I withdrew a couple of hundred, plunged it right into a bunch of pick threes, and ended up scoring with a Polyman tip horse and a horse called Built Up, ridden by Chop Chop. Combine that with one horse I picked myself, and next thing you know, $11,000. It was beautiful.
Nice.
11
Look at you.
dimes is a nice score.
I had a
so that's good-
$555 pick three like 19 times. I
That's
don't know
good.
how I ended up with that.
All right,
yeah.
we're alienating all the foodies. Joanne is probably
But I
rolling
mean,
her eyes.
it's
and
not
saying,
always a disaster to
"I
go
don't
get more cash,
care."
is what
No.
I'm saying.
Well, remember the days when our wonderful legislature and Jeb Bush was governor, and they first, we authorized as voters to put in gambling and these casinos and the racinos and the slot machines. And because they were opposed to gambling, but the will of the people prevailed, they wrote up laws so that
Stupidest laws.
they put in the slot machines, but they banned the ATM machines within 500 yards of a casino.
Always
so
makes sense.
this would never have happened.
Well, it's going to lead to
years ago.
prostitution and all kinds of crime. They always said that
drinking,
alcoholism.
alcoholism.
How solidly behind the Hard Rock are most of the people in the legislature now?
Are you kidding me?
But the funny part is that I remember when I used to go over to the dog track and they had I don't know what it was, the poker room, but if you get tapped out, you had to go take a little golf cart. They set up a shuttle ride with their own golf cart.
Like Bank of America.
No, to the bowling alley next door. Holiday bowling.
Always get the fries at the bowling alley.
Well,
Speaking of food.
Oh,
Honestly,
man.
Why are
they're
bowling alley French fries always
They're
better
always
than any other
great.
French fries?
Because usually you're drunk and you work up a real appetite
Is that
for
because
fried
all the other
foods.
food is terrible, or just because the French fries are great?
Everything is relative. But
Yeah.
here at Gulfstream Park, no food is terrible. We've
great.
been really blessed this year. Joe Beja, who is the director of food and beverage here, has been treating us every week. But today the streak is broken because they're so tight. He's so tied up with the Pegasus Cup preparations. He's got people and
Oh, that
big
box is
wigs
gonna
from
be
out of
insane.
town, executives. And
Every place
he
here.
was apologetic, so he's not going to be able to make his usual stop. But we made our way
We may
to
do.
a liquid lunch today, and
No,
I think
and
some
you're
of
always
us
better
even got it
when you're
comped.
drinking on the show.
You
Yeah,
call me king of the schnorrers, but I paid for my beautiful Bloody Mary made with Tito's
I
vodka.
sent Lubie up there.
I tried to pay. They take great care of us here.
Well, that's
I don't know,
great.
that's the
Me, I
service you
saw
get here.
Fabian on the outside, that Tito's seafood bar, the raw bar. And again, it's a beautiful.
How would you rate this?
Oh, it's good
Bloody
because
Mary?
they use
Okay.
that good pre-mixed.
Now, did you specify some things?
I
You
specified. I
futzed 100%.
Specify the
spicy.
specifics.
It's their default vodka out there at the Tito's vodka bar is Tito's vodka, which
Yeah.
I happen to like.
Our good friend the Greek represents Tito's
Yes.
vodka
Oh, good.
very admirably.
Yeah,
out
no,
there.
and they have this good pre-made bottle mix. I don't know if it was Major Peters, but one of these pre-mixed Bloody Mary mixes
Yeah.
that are nice and thick and have good spice and flavor. And he added in some extra Worcestershire, Tabasco, a squirt. He had one of those the squeezy thingies for the citrus where you put in
yeah,
like
wow.
the half a lemon and lime, and he squeezed it. And you got
that's
fresh
nice. You got a
juice,
lot of
the
juice.
size of the wedges,
Yeah, it's
so you
nice.
get that good citrus
No,
flavor.
it looks good. man.
I'm
That's
giving
a
her a
nice-
full-blown critique of an excellent Bloody
I
Mary.
like it.
I love making them at home with Clamato, which, as anybody knows, especially Canadians, that's not a Bloody Mary when you make it with Clamato. It's a Bloody Caesar. And I happen
Okay.
to love
I'm
Bloody
not a Bloody
Caesar.
Mary guy, so all of this
Yeah,
is lost
I'm
on me.
not.
Well,
Okay.
usually when I'm
Worse
at
than
the
some of the
track,
track talk is on some of the food guys we have
when,
out there.
when I come out to the track, it usually is like a Bloody Sunday or Bloody Friday.
Nah,
So,
you've been
You two
kicking
in the
it.
background.
I mean, all season long here with all these scores you're making.
and that brings us to today's first race. We're going to be talking contest soon because obviously
Did you come up with a restaurant? I
did.
gave you one last week, but
did.
you ignored it.
No, and today this one
And
might
I think
be
it's a
tricky.
good one for the contest.
This one might be tricky. I don't know how many people are going to get it, but you are allowed to cheat and use Google in this contest.
Yeah,
so
100%.
if you use the Google machine,
But you don't want to buffalo the people in a restaurant because the hard part is getting the horse.
no.
Yeah,
Well,
And then it would really be
No,
hard in a
he's-
Pegasus.
this
He's
week
made
the
them
hard part
restaurants everyone's heard of.
it's a wide open Pegasus Cup, which is grade 1, $3 million,
Yeah, it's a big deal.
but a full field of 12,
Those are the best.
and
The
so it's
odds
going to
are
be a
great.
number between 1 and
And
12.
about 8 of them could win it
Yeah.
without anybody going, oh, my God, I can't believe this
That's
horse
the
won."
best
Yeah.
kind. Now, last week it ended up being a 6-horse field, and of course, there was like 70 entrants, and only 4 people got it because it was the second to longest shot in the race.
That's great.
This week, 12-horse field, impossible. There'll probably be 20 winners or something like that.
I don't
We'll
know.
see.
This
But-
race is so wide open,
but,
the Pegasus, good field. I don't know that it's the most illustrious field, but it's a very solid field, and a lot of horses that people had an interest in or
Well,
know the story of.
we're
so.
going to do a deeper dive into the Pegasus. Later in the show, we're going to be joined by track handicapper Samantha Perry. She's new here,
Yeah,
and she's
nice.
lovely, delightful, young woman who
Are you making
is-
a little move? I mean, what's the deal on that? You invited her on the
Dave
show?
Joseph
I have no
is
idea if
Is this
setting us
woman
up
over
with
marital
25? Is she
status
older
or
than your daughter?
anything,
All right.
but she's nice enough. She's going to join us. She's going to talk about the Pegasus and her opinions of it, along with, I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about food and her background in terms of, if she
You
has
got
any.
to tell the people about this grub you had last night. I don't know
Well-
if they caught the show this morning.
Well, before we get into the grub last night, because we are getting ready for the first race,
Yes,
and
they just called
you
me to
know
the post.
that I love gambling on the early
You
double
love
when we're out
gambling?
here.
No, you.
Hey,
The
he just
Who
came to
knew?
an epiphany. He loves
Who
gambling.
knew?
Okay, you've seen commercials now for this totally riveting movie that I have absolutely no interest in
Oh, the
seeing
80
called
Brady.
80 for Brady.
I love Leslie Visser, and she talked to the
I
cast.
think you have to watch it now, just out of curiosity.
a great
Great cast. I
but-
love Jane Fonda, right?
great
Who doesn't
cast.
love Lily Tomlin? But the
Sally
whole
Field.
premise of, and they said it's based on a true story. I
It
guess
is.
maybe it's based on Tom Brady's mother, but about some octogenarians who loved Tom Brady and maybe befriended him, and then
That's not
gave him
the
recommendations of plastic surgeons to do his nips and tucks. But all I know, there's this movie 80 for Brady coming out before the Super Bowl.
movie.
But
Yes.
I say that you 70 for Sonny.
Gonna be 72, yeah.
70 for Sonny is the movie I'm making today
Yeah.
because
Leon.
he's in his 70s, and if you put me and Lubie, no, that would be more. than
Lubie's a
70.
young man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the bottom line is
I can't believe my son is going to
Sonny
be 40
Leon.
next week.
Sonny
Yeah,
Leon, 70
Leon,
for
is he
Sonny.
70?
Sonny Leon, who
No, he
won the
just likes
Kentucky
them.
Derby
Yeah.
last year somehow
Rich
aboard an
strike.
absolute
80 to 1.
crowbait.
Yeah.
He's riding here down at Gulfstream. He's got a mount in the first race, and I actually like it's a first-time starter named Neo Gem.
What's
I
the
put-
number?
Well, he was number one,
Oh, okay.
and morning line 20 to 1. I saw him. He was 13 to 1. He was a little bit
Nice.
live.
Nice.
So I put five to win in place on him, and I also
Beautiful.
did some other exactas and things like that. So we're going to be rooting, and I hear racing at
Pete
Gulfstream.
Aiello
up
went
already?
out.
So
Wow.
Pete Aiello, the track caller,
I love Pete.
they are
That's great.
off and running
Pete's a
here.
good cook, by the way. Real
We'll
good
have to
cook.
have. Well,
Yeah.
we'll
I
never
wanna
be
get
able to
him
have
on
him
'cause
on
he's very
And,
because
and a real Renaissance man. I mean, he knows a lot
We'll
of
have them
a lot
on
about a lot of different things.
like
He's
a
a very
day.
interesting guy.
that they're not racing.
as is Larry Colmus, who's now doing work for TVG Network, but he is the official race caller of the Kentucky Derby and
Oh,
NBC
he's great.
Sports. I think he might
Remember Tony Bentley? You remember the caller Tony Bentley?
that I do not know.
Well, he was a longtime caller at the fairgrounds, and then he became the caller at Calder Racecourse for a while. You probably remember him. He was a gourmet chef.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tony Bentley, and he used to
I
talk
remember
about
Phil
food all the time
Saltzman.
too.
Mo
Saltzman was
Saltzman's
not a
great.
gourmet chef.
No, he
Saltzman,
was-
if you needed any kind of hot
He's
merchandise,
a massive degenerate.
you could
yeah.
approach Phil, and there was a pretty good chance you could make a connection.
Oh,
Especially like when VCRs were really popular, and people were paying like $300-400 for them. Right out of the trunk, Phil, $25 a copy.
man. Rest in peace, Phil
That was
Saltzman.
I love
say,
Phil, man.
And
One of my
then
favorites.
Not going to get him today. That was
You know
his
what's odd
signature
about
line.
Phil? His brother Eddie, who Lubie has flown with,
Oh, my horse went
It-
off at
it-
8 to 1. They
is a
pounded
private
him.
jet pilot.
They
That's
pounded him.
His brother Eddie
Okay,
Salzman.
so good
Okay,
for him.
And a
Eddie Salzman.
competent, I mean, like a really
He's a great
accomplished pilot.
Pilot. Yeah.
Speaking of brothers
We're
and
coming
stuff,
around.
Howie Tesher,
What
did
number
you
is
see
yours?
one?
Number
He's
Look
one.
at you. You're doing the old Eddie Kaplan. You're telling me
Well,
to
I'm 10
focus on
seconds
food.
behind.
No,
I'm
your
trying
number
to
one's
We're coming
coming
down the
up.
stretch
It's
here. Is
coming
he
up.
one anywhere
Yeah,
in
it's
the
coming.
picture?
Is
Your
he
number
coming?
one's coming hard, actually.
Is he up
Let's
there
see.
third?
Oh, wow, it's gotten to second.
Tell me what's happening.
Your number one
Who is-
just got beat.
By
Number one
who?
just got beat. I didn't know what the
For what?
other number was. I was
Oh
focusing
man,
on
I'm,
one.
I'm watching about 30 seconds behind. This I'm sure is riveting to our lunchbox
Well,
followers.
yeah, you know how to
Wants
carry
to
your show
know.
there, Mike Mayo. Way to
Yeah,
go,
well,
babe.
you know,
Yeah.
there's certain priorities now that are coming. Oh, was it 9-1? Because I have a
think it's
9-1.
9-1.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think
You're
it's
good.
9-1.
The 9 was given out by Mark Welsh.
7-1.
I might have the exacta, and I have the place
It's a big
money.
one. Yeah, it's a
Oh
big one.
wow! I came
Yeah.
close to having
It
the
is
win place
9-1.
button.
Yeah,
So
it's 9-1.
we'll see what happens here. Let's see
If
if
the
I have
one's long,
anything.
you're in good shape.
I have a 9 over the 145 key.
You're in good shape.
I have. Oh wow!
So
I
this
don't
is the
have it.
lunchbox.
I
Those of you
don't have
checking
it.
in.
Oh my
He'll
goodness!
be
We will
talking
get the
about
food
local
talk.
restaurants and James Beard
We will
Awards
get
and
the food talk
all of
soon,
his
I
usual
promise.
stuff and get the clues for the contest. But guess what? He hit a bet here, and he's absolutely
Out of my mind.
completely lost.
I've
But
got
it's
a
going
Bloody
to be a
Mary.
good payoff. It's going to be good.
No, I don't have the exacta. I can't believe
I
I
thought,
got.
what do you mean you don't have it? You said you had
I
it.
should
You
have.
showed us a
I had a
ticket.
9 over the 145 trifecta, and look
Oh.
at that. The 12 screwed me out of the try just by
Oh, no.
a neck. It was
So you
9 1
managed to
12
have
4.
Nothing
And that
but
would have
winners
paid big
with all
millions.
long shots and cash nothing. Nice.
Well, no, I
Oh,
have
place
a
money.
$5 place bet, and I'm alive in the early double. So
There you
that
go.
part
Look
is
at you.
good. That 4 was 25 to 1. If it came in 9-1-4, gentlemen, I would have been
It's a big
buying
day.
everybody here on the apron.
We
drinks.
noticed you didn't exactly buy a round. You went to the bar, bought a drink for yourself, and nobody was ever questioned as to whether or not they wanted anything.
I'm cashing a ticket. And about last night, ribs and boxing. That
Yes.
was
That was
fun.
good, man.
That
looked good.
was. I
looked
was with my
spectacular.
man
I'm sorry I
Dick
missed
Steen
it. Yeah.
and my man Evan Darnell from the Red Meat Lovers Club. That's based up there in the Boca Del
This guy
Rey
does
area.
a great job. I don't know who he is, but whatever his game is, he really is on it.
No, and he, it's he runs all these events, and it's not just here in South Florida. He goes all over the country.
Can
New York
anybody
and
join
Texas.
this thing?
Yeah, and it is kind of a networking business kind of thing. Red Meat Lovers Club. It's open to men and women
They
and
do a
anybody.
great job.
And they have these events, and part of the proceeds go to different charities. And last night it was going for this wonderful charity. It's a resort for sick, sick children that need a little R&R and a place to unwind. And this organization has a resort hotel outside of Orlando in Kissimmee,
Oh,
Florida.
smell that popcorn. Is there anything better? Oh, my God.
Yeah, popcorn makes
Popcorn
my
popping
He
at the
can
giant.
my
with
left
his-
side
take a light.
freeze
Grilled
up.
onions going. Oh, he's,
I saw a pretzel there for you at the.
I'm a
pretzels
big
look
fan of the
solid.
Gulfstream Park
The
pretzel.
pretzel's
I really
solid.
am.
Yep.
They upgraded their pretzel game, as we told Joe. And I'm a big fan of pretzels. I don't really like the ones that you used to get. Like, I guess they seemed like they were frozen and they were overdone with salt. But they upgraded their
No, they have
game.
a
You
nice
need like
pretzel.
a special type of bread, to make a good pretzel.
Well, it's they have them up there, and they look hot and fresh. So
Yeah,
I was
that's
going to
solid.
get you one, but then
Yeah, well, of course.
then I had to
mean,
go to the window instead. So
I was gonna.
we're
I was
here on
gonna.
the Lunchbox. It's a Gulfstream Friday. Last
Yes.
night I was at this boxing ribs competition
Yeah.
at this place called the Del Rey Boxing Center. That was absolutely.
Now, is that by the tennis center somewhere?
No, it's actually a little bit north of downtown. A little bit hard to find, but easy to love
You
Yeah,
love that
yeah.
line.
on
You
Old
love
Dixie
that.
Highway.
Nothing's hard to
You'll
find.
never
it's
find
just
this,
like
Joey, but we
GPS.
recommend you go there. I'm Mike Mayo for the
GPS
pizza
every
spot.
place.
The pizza
It's
spot,
easy to
like, don't
find.
rag on me. People can put it in their GPS.
Yes,
Oh,
it's
we
easy to
love
find everything
pizza
with
spot.
GPS.
We
You know we love you, man.
bakeries.
You know we love you.
And maybe you don't think it's effective marketing, but Wade does. He says so many people come up there talking about
It's a little
Mike
hard to
Mayo
find. Yeah.
and Defo and hearing us first on the radio shows and now
It
on
might be the
live
best
stream.
pizza in town right now.
No,
I
they do a
love
great
that
job.
place,
Yeah,
and
it might be.
I need to.
So,
get
anyways,
in there
when's the
soon.
next Red Meat Lovers thing? And can you angle for them to have it on a Wednesday or a Friday?
I really
It's
hope they
always
go
a
back to
Thursday
the,
and always
tennis.
I
get
got to
jobbed
see if
out of-
he's going to do the meatballs and tennis
That
event
was
at
great.
the Del Rey
That was great.
Open.
I want to go
But
so
last
bad.
night the theme was ribs, and
Oof.
we talked about this on your morning show about
Yep.
there was 6 competitors there, but it just said ribs, and then there was boxing matches. They had bouts,
So
so
cool.
there were body blows to the ribs along
Yeah.
with barbecue
Amateur
ribs.
boxing at a good level can be,
No,
very
this
entertaining.
one guy was
Yeah,
very
yeah,
quick.
yeah.
He was a little short. His reach wasn't good because he was going against a tall guy. So he was like snapping and really fast, but nothing was landing because it didn't reach. And the other guy just
Yeah.
kept going like this, kind of
Well, in the
Yeah.
amateurs, they
Boom,
score it
boom,
anyway.
boom,
If
boom.
you throw a punch, they
Well,
give you
it
points.
was 3 rounds that went to a draw, and actually, Evan, give him credit because he rustled up like $800 from the crowd
Oh, yeah.
to give to the boxers.
Oh,
and
nice.
and after 3 rounds, it was a draw, but nobody wanted to just divvy up the money. We wanted a
They only had
winner.
one bout?
No, they had 4 different bouts, but the big bout of the evening, the main event, it was 2 of their best
Ladies
amateurs.
and gentlemen, it's time for your main event.
We made them do a 4th round to play for the Lion Show. It was 500 for
You made
first.
them go an
You're
extra
adding
round, these
rounds.
poor
Evan
giant
did.
kids.
But then on that 4th round, the taller guy just wore him down
Oh,
with some
walloped
body
him, yeah.
blows, and all the judges had it as a win for the taller guy who was wearing a shirt as opposed to
Were
the
you
shorter
also
guy.
scoring the fights?
No, I was just scoring the ribs. And
Oh.
let me. So this gets back to the question that I asked earlier today.
Yeah.
Because they had both beef ribs
Yeah.
and pork ribs, and the pork
But
ribs
both
came,
are good, by the way.
like,
I mean,
there was
yeah.
the baby back ribs, which are a little bit shorter and more tender, and then the St. Louis ribs, which are a little bit
The
bigger
spare
and
rib, that's
meatier.
the pork.
The spare rib, that's what you see at the Chinese restaurants like Christine Lee's here. The St. Louis cut
That's
ribs,
what we ought to
spare
do right
rib.
after the show. With,
Yeah, yeah.
since
Christian
Joe
Lee's, honestly.
couldn't come through for us today, is right over to Christine
Yeah,
Lee's
I'll
on
get
your
some
dime.
ribs, get some wings on
Mayo's
my dime.
dime.
Well,
Mayo's
it's
dime.
really
oh, look, somebody's using our machine.
It's really a darn shame because the 9 was $17 wars. The 1 paid
Don't, dude.
$9.60
That's
to show.
Devo's favorite thing.
To
Oh
show.
my
Let me
God.
ask you.
So I made my money back just on the show bet, but by getting squeezed, that trifecta with the 12 came back $8.93. If it
You
came
didn't
in with
need
the
that.
4,
Yeah.
it would have came back like $1,200 for 50 cents. And now I'm kicking myself, and I'm going to drink
All right,
myself.
So I'm going to
you-
ask you a question about food because that's
Yeah.
what they care about. So
Have you ever seen a guy go 30 minutes just crying about the fact that
Yeah,
he blew
like
it?
Mayo.
Exactly. Yeah.
he's great at it.
I've
Yeah,
heard
he's
somebody go
tremendous at
20
it.
minutes about an ATM machine.
Defoe's
start.
great
No,
at it,
but
too.
somebody's
Defoe did
using
that
our
to Derby.
machine here, and
Our machine.
is she
I
having
wonder what
trouble?
the
Maybe I can
surcharge
help her.
So let me ask you,
I'm
when it comes
familiar
to
with all of
ribs,
these
Forget the
techniques.
food. What's your cutoff on surcharges on ATM machines? Like it's
$3.
$3.95.
Well, there is no cutoff because I've been in places where I think the highest I've ever gotten whacked for was $7 or $8.99.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's Vegas. Vegas.
Isn't
is,
that make you? It makes you cringe. Like it
It
makes
pisses
me.
me
There's
off.
not
Like,
much you can do about it, though. You know, what are you going to
it's
do?
like having to pay
Yeah.
for a parking spot. Sometimes you want to find
Yeah.
that free
I
spot,
hate it.
but when you
But
got
I
to-
always will go for the max money, even if I only need like a couple of hundred, really, to feel good
Oh,
about
you
myself.
have to because it
Yeah,
makes it
because I
worthwhile.
don't want to pay the fee twice.
Luby, I'm sorry.
I was
you
gonna
wanted
talk
to
to you
bring it back
about
to
ribs,
food.
the ribs.
Yes, so I
Because-
like pork ribs. I specifically like a
I'm with you on that.
spare rib,
Yeah.
a St. Louis rib that doesn't fall off the bone and mushy, but has a little bit of that give and a smoke ring and a smoke flavor.
Okay,
So-
because I grew up, and maybe this is why I have a weird thing with beef ribs, but my grandparents were kosher in their home, which was
Right.
a fun thing that
they're
a
not
lot
going
of
to be
Jews
eating a lot
did.
of pork ribs.
So we
if they're
had
kosher.
barbecue, we had beef ribs.
Flanken.
Now,
I call it flanken,
most-
and it's like you should.
with
go ahead.
Jewish grandmothers, my grandma was a great baker, but when she would cook things, she would overcook the crap out of them.
Would she
Oh.
bake the ribs?
No, I don't know how she cooked the ribs, but they were all. I never enjoyed them, and I'm
Yeah,
thinking maybe
because
it's
they were
because
probably
of
like
her.
they were done to leather, like
Because the
that.
professor yesterday was actually saying, and he was the gourmet in my life before you were. He used to like pork ribs, and in the last few years, because of how he cooks them, he's grown fond of beef ribs. So I was like, I've never heard
When
of
you
that
do
before.
a proper just like a salt like seasoning on the beef rib, and
Yeah.
you just I guess you got to cook them low and slow like everything
That's
else.
what he said. They have to be cooked slow.
Low and slow is the key to all barbecue, whether it's pork or beef. But the beef ribs, like some of these barbecue joints serve once a week, the Brontosaurus beef rib.
Yeah.
It's
the
like
Fred- yeah,
$35 now,
Flintstones.
but it's like a Fred Flintstone type
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
And it's a meal that you could last for 3 or 4 days. They used to do it up at Smoke Barbecue. I think they still do up on Lauderdale by Galt Ocean Mile there. Smoke
Yeah.
does it on Saturdays. It used to be $25. I can't imagine now with the
Probably
cost of
35,
beef
40
what
bucks.
it is. But it's one of those things where when you get it and it comes out fresh and it's like quivering and the meat is like the rendered fat is dripping all over the place and you pick it up, it doesn't need any sauce. It's just if
Yeah.
you have it seasoned
good. Yeah,
properly
yeah.
and you pick it up and you just like go full out like
Like Fred
Like-
Flintstone.
Fred
you know
Flintstone
what,
or Mike Mayo.
Here was
And-
another take on it, though. A friend of mine, Peter Leonard, who also I used to do a food show with many years ago, he had a weird recipe for like sort of an Asian sauce that you put on ribs.
Hoisin. And a lot of
Hoisin
those
with
places.
hoisin and duck sauce and also garlic and then some other things. And I tell you what, I sort of, and you put mustard in there and all kinds of different things. And it was absolutely delicious. Barbecue sauce.
One of the places last night did a beef rib that had that Asian style. It was a hoisin
so
and
good, yeah.
soy.
That
It was
sounds
a little
ridiculous.
bit, that salty umami
I'm glad
thing.
you didn't make a face on that one. 'Cause, no, it was
Now
really
that
delicious.
sounds amazing.
And I used to
I
make
mean,
them a lot at different
when-
parties I had.
When
They were
that's
great.
executed well,
Yeah.
that is a delicious bite. I love that hoisin and the soy.
That
and
was on pork ribs.
sometimes
though,
they
yeah.
put some of that mirin, which is a Japanese rice wine.
It was a little bit of barbecue sauce, mustard, honey mustard,
Okay.
hoisin sauce, Hunan duck sauce,
Ooh.
garlic, and a couple of other little things you
I
put
I can't
in
believe I
there.
didn't have that exact. $75 for a buck.
You sound like Defo and the Derby.
Still
Defo
crying.
couldn't
I
get
mean, all I
over it.
said was 9-1.
After
How
all
do I
this
not have a
time.
9-1? I have 9-1.
How do I not have it? I've got a ticket that has it on it.
I tried, Joanne. I tried.
Oh my
I tried.
goodness!
What
Hey,
that exacta
it's
pay, man?
content-
That had to be a fat exacta.
No, $76 for a buck.
For a buck.
No, I'm sorry, $80. $79.80 for $1. I could have had.
You
and
could
that
have for $5,
trifecta-
made
Why did I
400
do a
and walked out the
9-1
door.
all?
Yeah.
I was just thinking to myself, 1-9-9-1, and I don't have it.
All right.
All right, but I'm
What
going to
about
up,
this contest, man?
Yeah,
we
it's
want to promote
contest
winning
time.
here, not losing.
Yeah, we are all about the winning here.
I
Lamenting
always-
losing
Guys,
never
lamenting.
sells on a show.
I've
You've
got
always-
my buddy's horse in the second leg of the double. Do you want to know what it might pay?
Not
I
particularly
wanna know about the
interested. Yeah.
contest.
Well,
What
only
about
if you're
break
taking us to
time?
Christine Lee's. after.
$29.90.
How
I
much?
have possibly. I'm on
That's
the
a nice-
line. I'm alive for a $30 double,
Okay,
Okay,
good,
so let's
good.
go.
which is better than a poke in the eye.
Yeah.
All right,
There you go.
contest time.
Yes.
What's
I
the
hope
start?
everybody out there is having as much fun as we are because we are absolutely
Someone's
exuberant.
having fun.
It's a huge weekend. I got a little bit of that vodka flowing through
You know
my
what's
You gotta
funny?
shut
It
it
doesn't
up,
even
boy.
take you half a Bloody Mary to lose
you
it.
get,
Wow. I mean,
know
you
we're
must be
older, we don't
something.
drink
man.
a
It's
lot.
been one of
Jeez.
those really long weeks.
You had a
and
great
I am
week.
ready.
What are you talking about?
This is going to be a gambling weekend, or
Oh,
not all of
Jesus.
it, but part of it. And I have all these options. I think I figured out I'm not going to go up to that other place up north. I'm going out to the Hard Rock tonight with my buddy Danny, who's been on a tear.
There
We
you go.
always give each other 10% of each other's action. So if he
Oh, good for you.
wins,
It's a
I
nice
win.
touch, yeah.
If I win, he wins.
And how much do you owe him lifetime?
I owe him 250 now because I had that big score earlier this month.
Oh, you had
And I was
this
going to
score,
give him.
yeah.
I gave him five. Well, I gave him a little bit so far. I gave him a taste, but I'm waiting for all these checks. I wish the checks would start arriving in the mail, but
They never
Anyway.
come when you need them the most.
Yeah, I know,
That's
but it's going to be a fun weekend, and the most fun this weekend can be had by coming out to Gulfstream
Right here.
or watching the big Pegasus Cup tomorrow, which is I think going to be on NBC.
NBC. Yep.
I
NBC
think Larry
TV,
Cole
yeah.
is who I just saw down there. I didn't wave him over.
and they're off.
He's probably got to go on TVG soon, but we'll have Samantha Perry soon to talk horses. But again, for you people in the contest this week, you're going to be betting or make a selection on
From
the
that
biggest race in the universe this weekend.
Yeah.
And that Pegasus World Cup tomorrow. It's the final race on the card. So I think it's the 13th race. I think they're running 13 here.
Last
at
race is the
yeah.
stakes? Yeah, wow.
Last race, right before sunset.
Usually
It
need
is
that little
going to
walkout
be-
race.
Yeah,
let
they
the
always have
traffic
a race
clear, you know?
after,
Yeah.
like
No,
Derby,
not
the-
here. Not right before sunset.
The
Not
old
when it's
walkout bout?
it's going to be on
Belmont and
NBC,
all.
5:40 p.m. post time, right before sunset. 13th race, race number 13. There are 12 horses entered. There's also eligible, the 14, but we're gonna, for our purposes, disregard that
1 through 12.
because I don't think he's
not
getting in.
getting it. Yeah,
He's not
forget
getting in.
Nine.
If he
We'll
does
line
get
through.
in and he wins the race, then we'll make it whoever
We'll
has
figure
the
it
second
out.
place horse.
Yeah.
But we're right now going to be easy. 2 parts of the contest. Can you explain it to the people now? At this
I
point?
think I can do it at this point, yeah. Okay. Mike's
Good
going to give you 3
luck.
clues. A fabled restaurant, one that should be very well known here in South Florida.
This
Either past or
one, maybe
present.
not, but it fits with a horse racing theme. That's why
Okay.
I
Well, you
chose it.
tried.
But,
This
I mean,
week's
it's
restaurant is a
fairly
horse
commonly
racing
known.
theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
not like an obscure joint, you know, like.
Well, it is kind of obscure, but it's
all right, so it's
but
May's Kitchen.
So you
It's
have
a
no
restaurant,
shot. But good luck.
and then
the Google machine will
you
help
submit your entry with the winning,
Already
you know,
not Google.
with the proper name of the restaurant from the 3 clues, which you usually can get it by the second one.
Yes.
2 components to the email that you will email to
And
me
you email it to Mike Mayo Eats
at gmail.com.
at
By 12 p.m.
gmail.com.
tomorrow,
By
like
noon
12 p.m.
tomorrow.
Noon tomorrow is
12
the cutoff. That's it. Otherwise, it's a
2
football.
parts to the email
And then you have to pick the winning number
in
of the horse in the
Pegasus
Pegasus.
stake, which is going to be a number between
1
1
and
and
12.
12.
I mean,
you can
the
handicap
number
or
of the
pick a
winning
number.
horse.
If you're more
Yeah.
sophisticated and you actually know the
Yeah,
names of the
handicap away.
horses, you could send the name of the horse.
Yeah.
You can send the number. You can send the name and the number, and
Yeah.
if they coincide, that's even better
That
because
helps.
you won't get disqualified.
Yeah.
But make it simple. The answer to the restaurant quiz, and then the number of the horse that's going to win the Pegasus
Restaurant
Cup
and a
tomorrow.
number. That's
All
what
right,
you
here we
need.
go. Are you
All right.
ready?
Yeah,
Is
I'm
it-
ready for the first
Yeah.
clue. I'm curious to see
dripping
what you
with
came up with. Yeah,
anticipation.
yeah.
I can't believe it's
Excitement
almost
abounds.
12:30. Samantha might show up. Okay, here we go. And remember,
She probably saw the early portion of the show.
She
turned
decided
around
to
and
turn
left.
the other way. Larry
She
Coleman
got a
turned the
burgeoning
other
career
way.
here at Gulfstream.
Oh, and I mentioned Timon Baloo, who has just got awarded,
Yeah, I was stoked to
James
talk to
Beard recognition. Thought he was going to be on the show today, calling in, but he had a conflict. We're going to have him on next week. We're going to have a nice long chat with him about
Wednesday.
the whole dining
That's his
scene.
second
And his
cancellation.
big, no, that's week.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday, right before the Cheryl's
moving,
birthday,
moving.
and
Yes,
Lubie is
I
going
have
to
to do
try
my
to glom his
snoring.
way.
Look what
into all
happens
kinds
once
of-
snoring.
Beard mentions your name, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's not time
Is
for
there a
us.
Julia Child Award? I
And
mean,
we've got a lot of stuff next week. Monday,
what
we're going
happened
to
to Julia? Why is she ignored
She's
among
dead.
the?
She passed.
Well, I know that, but I mean, there's no honorary award.
Oh, there should be a Julia
Probably,
Child
yeah,
Award.
probably.
You
That
know
would
what's
be
funny?
nice.
She had a voice very much like, on
Lubie?
Andy's. You remember Andy's Gang? That show,
No,
Andy's Gang?
wasn't
You're
it
too
like-
young. Probably
Like,
too young. But
Oh dear, I've dropped the
wasn't
chicken
it
on
she
the
had a
floor.
voice very
Miss
much like the
Doubtfire,
woman on
yeah, Miss
Andy's Gang
Doubtfire.
that was always getting.
And I don't remember if we
razzed.
remember her actual voice or Dan Aykroyd
Making fun of
imitating
her.
her on
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live. which
She was
is just
great,
like
man.
one
I
big-
told you, my dad won a prize on her show for sending in a recipe.
It's hard to believe that your father
Well, his
had
father
anything
was
to
nothing
do
like
with
him.
He loved
both
Julia Child,
You
man.
didn't know his dad.
Yeah.
and Julia Child.
No,
Yeah,
tremendous,
Michael
tremendous.
DeForest
there it
was
is.
very different than
hard
his
to
son.
believe. All right, everybody's on pins and needles. Here's the first clue,
Definitely.
horse racing wise. Okay, so
Yes.
this South Florida, actually former South Florida Italian restaurant, that pays tribute to the Rat Pack was co-founded last decade by a guy who's a thoroughbred trainer, and he's also a thoroughbred owner and breeder. And this restaurant that he opened was in Deerfield Beach before relocating to Boca Raton.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, it
You
shut
got it. Good for
down.
you.
Dead giveaway. Yeah.
But now it actually has resurrected itself. He opened it again, another version of this restaurant in Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh,
so
wow.
if you go to
yeah?
Keeneland,
cool.
you can go
It was
to
a good
this
spot.
restaurant.
Yeah, good spot.
So you know it. Of course you
I've been
do.
People
there,
got
yeah.
it quick.
No,
Yeah.
can I give another dead giveaway clue?
No, not yet.
Make
That's
that
the
the
third
second
clue.
clue.
The
Make it
third
a-
clue we give the dead giveaway. So
Okay.
this former
Well,
South
a lot of people wouldn't know the dead giveaway, but I do.
well, then let's save
Remember,
it for the end.
Mike
Go
Mayo
ahead, give the
East
dead
at
giveaway.
gmail.com
Who am I to-
by 12
Well,
p.m. tomorrow.
I mean, if you had a taller Mike next to Mike Lubie Lubitz,
Okay.
You'd have a little Mike.
you would have to say that Mike would be
the little
Mike.
Mike. Right.
Little
There you
Mike.
go.
There's two Mikes here.
Yeah.
Well, that was his
And the
most
little
famous
Mike.
horse who won a Breeders'
Yeah.
Cup. That was going to be my third
You guys
clue.
are just
Oh, it
getting
was?
right
Thank you
Okay.
for
away.
just totally.
I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know.
Mayo
That, you know,
East
people would have known
gmail.com.
it from that, but
By 12 p.m.
All right, here we
tomorrow.
go. Again, clue number one. This former South Florida Italian restaurant that pays tribute to the Rat Pack
Mhm.
was founded last decade by a thoroughbred trainer, and he's also a thoroughbred owner and breeder. And that restaurant first was located in Deerfield Beach before moving to Boca Raton, where unfortunately it was a COVID casualty. But now that restaurant, the same name, has become resurrected and is open and serving in Lexington, Kentucky, which is, of course, the
Keeneland.
horse country. It's Mecca of horse
Yeah,
country.
yeah, yeah.
Keeneland Racetrack,
and
all
a
the
great
famous
place to
stuff.
visit if you're going to Keeneland.
So
Great
that
place.
is clue number one. We'll see if anybody out there in our audience knows it right off the bat. Defo did, and that's an encouraging sign.
The second you mentioned it,
Well, I mean, you
and,
talked
and
to
it was a real
racing.
nice spot. A lot of people really loved that place.
I've been not to the
And
original
the Boca
location.
place was
I
having
went
success.
to the
Yeah,
Boca
yeah.
place, and the Boca
Yeah.
place used to be a place called Merlino's. He took over Merlino's, which Merlino. He had a little.
And actually, I think the
Yeah.
old location, the one that was in Deerfield, is something similar now, but it's not, the same name.
Is it Luigi DiPaolo now?
Could be.
I don't
Could
know.
be.
I'm just guessing things, but
All right,
that's
so
not
you
the name
gave a
we're
lot of
looking
clues
for.
here in the first
A
clue.
lot
It's
of
good,
clues.
yeah.
It's all out there for you. And you know what? Let's. It's time for our first break.
Tell
But
them
first,
about something. Tell them about something that's
I'm
going
going to
on
tell them
around
about
town.
Tropical Acres
Oh, good,
because
good.
anytime I'm at the races, I think of let's go
Sam
to the races
Studiali,
and
man.
Sam Studiali. Back in the day when he first, took over Tropical Acres
Bob
from
Savage
his
Show.
cousins, and he was a big horse player and a big horse racing fan, and he was the sponsor of a daily racing show before there was such a thing as the internet and on-phone betting. But Tropical Acres, friends of ours, friends of racing, and should be friends of yours if you're into fine dining, along with getting quality steaks, seafood, chops. It is all there for the taking at Tropical Acres this weekend. Why don't you go in there and see what all the hubbub is about?
Yeah.
Somebody else on the Let's Eat South Florida group posted wonderful things about it. They got a filet mignon butterflied and just drenched in béarnaise sauce.
Nice.
Now, what did you
Now-
think about that? Wait a minute. The béarnaise sauce.
Yeah, let me ask, what
overdose.
are you with the
Not
sauce
my
on
particular
steak?
style.
I saw you making a face.
It
I'm
can
a
be done
purist.
nicely, but
I
I
know
don't
that
like
you
some
love
steak.
Tropical Acres.
When
but
it comes to my fillets
Why
and
butcher
prime
your steak like
ribs,
that?
I just
Yeah.
want a little bit of salt and pepper. Maybe, with
The
the
steak should
prime
stand on
rib,
its
the
own,
horseradish sauce, and au jus.
Then we have a
But
special guest
Tropical
coming up
Acres,
next.
it's the place you want to go this weekend, special occasion, any occasion. Most of all, Valentine's Day coming up on a Tuesday night, February 14th, like every year. You want to make your reservation now, 954-989-2500. Tropical Acres, 954-989-2500 for your Valentine's reservations. And also, don't forget, happy hour on the bar every day, 4:30 to 6:30. You know what? I'm going to be there today with my buddy Dan before a
Nice.
poker tournament at the Hard Rock. We're going to be having happy hour. So if you want to have a little meet up, greet up with the man himself with the swelled head, come on by to Tropical Acres. And also,
you developed a little bit of a big head.
Oh,
over
and
this
our
thing.
special
Yeah,
guest,
yeah, yeah.
people come up
You
to
see the
me,
thousands of
they
views.
genuflect,
Yeah.
they shove food in my
It's
face.
crazy.
It's
Our
unbelievable.
special guest
It's
is ready to
Mayo
join us.
mania
I've
is what it
become
is. It's Mayo
insufferable.
mania.
You guys
yeah.
are
Absolutely insufferable. But what's not insufferable is the hospitality and the quality of food and selection you'll get at Tropical Acres, 2500 Griffin Road, just west of the airport and I-95. Go in there, tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
Always been a good thing. All right. This
special
lovely
guest
young
is
lady,
Samantha
here.
Perry.
She's
She's a
hanging
very
out.
busy
Samantha
woman.
Perry.
We're going to do our breaks.
So
just
get
do a
some real
single. We'll
handicapping
talk to her,
expertise,
and then
yeah.
we'll come back
All right, good.
after these words on The Degenerate. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more?
Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. It's a Friday. It means we're at Gulfstream Park. It's my favorite day of the week because not only am I guess, getting ready for the weekend with the Bloody Mary.
Did they give you a complimentary double or something on
No,
that one?
but I'm just feeling like it's just hitting me right, as the kids say. This thing is just,
it like
just
you got smacked
right.
by Alexis Arguello. I mean, what are you talking about?
I'm with Jeff Defo DeForest, and it's our pleasure to welcome to the Lunchbox for the first time handicapper extraordinaire at Gulfstream Park, on-track analyst and racing handicapper, Samantha Perry. How are you? And welcome to the Lunchbox.
Hi, I'm excited to be here. I was disappointed there was no food.
Yeah,
on the
Joe
table,
B.
But it's all right.
No, usually every week we get just feeded with a feast from Joe B, who's the director of food and beverage, but he's got all the muckety mucks and the bigwigs in town, and he is doing walkthroughs and all this preparation.
It's forgiven, don't worry.
Yeah, but we'll have you back some week when we do have a feast, because I know. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. This is your first year here, or
first season in this role at Gulfstream Park. I used to shoot video cameras here. Actually, I started off behind the camera and spent 2 seasons at Monmouth in front of the camera.
Love New Jersey.
Oh yeah,
love the Jersey Shore.
Oceanport is great. I love Monmouth. They really kind of legged me up for this, and now I'm here at Center Stage. It's
Where
great.
are you from originally?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. So you must be like into steaks and like meat and potatoes, or am I wrong? Because we talk food and horses.
Steak. I love steak. Yes.
And have you? What do you think of South Florida so far? Is it totally crazy, or
no, not at all. I've spent a lot of time here because before I was doing this role, I was also galloping horses for a trainer here, and so I've spent a lot of time here.
Which trainer?
So I actually currently still work for Brendan Walsh.
Oh, nice. Okay, and he's got some live ones. So you got any tips? Just tell us off the air. We you don't want to.
Don't give it away.
That's it. No, but so we here on the Lunchbox, we like to talk about food. We have a contest every week, but we also are into our degeneracy in horses. I mean, my background is longtime newspaper journalist. I started in sports. I went to news and politics. I ended up on the buffet line of life on the Titanic, the sinking ship that is the newspaper industry. But I did the food and restaurant critic beat for like 5 years, 5 years and 60 pounds. But so we like to talk about it all. But this is a huge week. We actually have people who are watching us today who are normally don't know a horse's mane from its tail, but because of the Pegasus, they're paying attention this week. What's the excitement level like for you, and what do you think of the race itself?
Oh, it's such a week here. I just was saying this morning to somebody how this place transforms still never ceases to amaze me. I mean, this is a beautiful track already, but the work that goes into it to get the stage set up over here and just the energy. You love to feel the energy.
Even today, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Even today. And, it's on the chillier side here, still beautiful. I'll take it over any other place. But it's a
you
lot
really
of
have
people.
adjusted if you call today chilly. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh, yeah. I have.
A little
Don't
cool
worry.
out here. You know what I always loved about racetracks, though? It'd be like opening day at Hialeah or Gulfstream, and they're still painting the H as the people are coming through the gate.
Yep. It's so
and
true.
then on these big days, and we were talking about it earlier this morning on another show, you kind of get like an anticipation crowd because the people are all in town from all over the country, all over the world for this Pegasus race. That's going to be a huge social event with concerts and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But the day before is always kind of, an extra buzz. I mean, here we are, second race on a cloudy day, and, it's full on the apron, and
Yes.
you can sense that there's something going on here, which is great.
Yeah, it is. And it's so much fun, too. And you feed off that energy, and you can make so many new fans from this Pegasus because people who don't know much about horse racing, like you said, they're tuning in for the first time. They want to know what they can get involved in tomorrow.
And that's what we've been doing here on the Lunchbox show, which is simulcast on this little food group that I help run on the Facebook called Let's Eat South Florida. It's only got
It's massive, 100,000 people.
97,000 people.
And-
Now,
and
don't
he is the
exaggerate.
god
It's
of the
not
group,
100,000. It's
man.
97,000.
Yeah.
If he says you can get gas from eating these prunes, no one's eating prunes. That's how powerful of a wand he
impressive.
wields here.
Oh, man.
It's impressive.
No, but what we want to do is, basically turn people on to the excitement of thoroughbred racing. And just, Joe's been great because he's showing how the food and beverage program here has really grown up.
Oh, yeah.
And they've expanded the menu at 10 Palms. And we give away these weekly Sunday brunch vouchers to 10 Palms so that people can come out and experience live racing for themselves, a beautiful view overlooking the track, and a Sunday brunch buffet. And it's going to be, basically all complimentary, including the first mimosa, the tax, the tip, and the all-day buffet that has things like the prime rib and this. Have you gotten to go up there and check it out yet?
I have. Yeah, I love it up there. I've not been able to eat there, but I love the view. And it's just such a cool, it reminds you of old Miami, doesn't it? Like, it's just a nice spot up there.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a chill vibe.
It is, yeah.
And it's nice to just, not getting rushed out of a restaurant. Some of these restaurants now they put you on a parking meter. You got 2 hours and then you got to get out of here. And it's like, no, here it's
He's used to the Chinese buffet outside the Hard Rock.
No, no, even some of these high-end joints now, they put it on the reservation. Who's winning the second race there?
What do you need,
Samantha?
Michael?
Oh, I don't.
Tell me it's the 2.
You need the
Tell me
deuce.
it's the
It
2.
is
no,
the
the deuce
two.
is
I
home.
didn't.
It is the 2?
I didn't think
no,
it
he's
was
going to
going
win
to
by
be,
5
but
lengths.
The
yeah.
2 is?
Yeah.
My friends at Colts Next Stables came through, and I didn't even text them for the
Wow.
inside info.
I mean,
this morning.
jogging under wraps.
It was a drop down.
Coasting.
On the
And
drop.
I am the proud recipient of a $29.90 dollar double.
Nice.
That is,
That's good stuff.
I'm
Yeah.
the world's worst NFL
Way to make a
playoff
commitment on that.
handicapper.
Yeah.
It's not good enough
They
for
gave you the horse from New Jersey at
I
6
have
in the
tickets
morning.
in my pocket that when I'm done going up to this
You're
window
gonna cash
here,
them. No, it's
I'm going to
good.
get more money back than what I put in. And what other sporting venue does that happen? No place else.
Well,
in the world.
and you're getting paid to come out here and
Not-
talk to food, which is great also.
Yeah, it doesn't happen at the Panthers.
all right, what
Arena.
about the
Go
Pegasus,
ahead.
though? I mean,
Let's get your picks. What do you think?
what do you think? I mean, we eliminated riding with Biden because of the MAGA people.
and they renamed that horse Hiding with Biden.
Hiding with
like
Biden,
all the,
like in the documents.
classified documents.
Defunded
Hiding
was
with
another
Biden.
one of our horses. He likes White Abario, supposedly
I
running a
love
hole in
White
the wind in
Barry.
the
I
morning.
love Saffy
Yeah.
Jones
What are you hearing on the
this track.
backstretch, though? Give us the insights.
You know, with races like this, there's such a class above a lot of just your normal run-of-the-mill horses, and they're all coming into this race truly great. I mean, it's so cliche, but it's true. You know,
Well, when all the best are coming in, well meant, that's the kind of
It's-
betting affair I want to be involved
exactly.
in. Yeah.
Yep. And honestly, in my opinion, the Pegasus race, it's wide open. I really don't
Yeah.
think that there's one horse that, is such a standout on paper, which is going to make it fun for the betting.
What do you think of Cyberknife? Because I guess the thinking was that he was going to retire to stud, but then they decided to bring him
To
back
run
for
him.
one more.
Mhm.
Do you think he has a shot and just by back class alone, or is the horse's head into it? I don't know what his training regimen was, if he was already in stud mode, or what do you know about him?
No, I'm pretty sure they just kept him in training. This is a horse that he's been really consistent, and he shows up every time, but he's never really broken through.
Has he run on this track before?
No, but he's
always
trained
a question.
On it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
He's trained on it though, so he's been training at fairgrounds. The surface there is really good. Brad Cox has a string there, so anything that Brad Cox is going to bring here is going to be live.
I'm going against, and because I don't like.
He
to
loves
be,
this horse, by the way.
I don't like to be. Well, I made money
Loves
on him
this horse,
last year because it was a kind of sentimental play because my mom is a cancer survivor and underwent cyberknife radiation treatment that helped her beat her form of cancer. So just hearing the name Cyberknife, and I know the owners, I think, named it for the same reason.
Yep.
But out with sentiment, I'm just going to try to go against the favorite. I like White Barrio. I like Defunded and Baffert coming in because he's usually well met. What do you think of those two horses? And is there any sleepers out there that people?
I wouldn't sleep on O'Connor.
Okay.
The other Saffie Joseph. So Saffie Joseph has 3 horses in this race, and O'Connor is one that he had a shoe malfunction in that last race. It would be comparable to running in a flip-flop is what happened with that last race, and he still really powered through. I would not discount him at all.
Who's Frankie on? Frankie Dettori.
Wait. O'Connor, I just want to, number 12 is JJ Castellano is the aboard. And again, Saffie Joseph, one of the top trainers here. And he's got he's got 3 in, including Defoe's horse.
Skippy Longstocking. Yeah. My dog is named Skippy, so I have to bet him.
Yeah.
I already put 20 to win on Skippy Longstocking just for the dog.
Nice.
Who's Frankie riding? Is Frankie in the race?
Last Samurai for Wayne Lucas.
Yeah, and
any shot? I mean, this is a dramatic story here, and is there anybody cooler on the grounds right now than Frankie Dettori?
Yeah, no, there isn't. The answer to that is no. He's the man. Yeah.
Top Italian European jockey for a long time. He's known for his famous.
Who I know
flourish.
through an Italian chef.
Well, and from Luca Panici, who's a friend of ours and friend of the show. And
don't think they're not chirping back and forth about what's going on.
But, obviously Frankie Dettori has won all the major races pretty much in the world, except the Kentucky Derby. But he's known for his flying dismount when he wins a race.
I see one coming.
But I'm not betting him in that dirt race. He's going to win one of the turf races, right? That's usually
he's good on both.
Okay,
though.
All right. We'll see. All right. So, what's your top 3 in the Breeders' Cup, in the Pegasus? Cup?
In no order, I would say O'Connor, White Barrio, and let's go with. You got to use.
You're going to use the Cyberknife?
You got to use Cyberknife.
All right. So that's a 12-4-10 for all you contest players out there. That is Samantha Perry's top 3 in the big $3 million. The 12 is going to be a price horse. And again, kind of like it. A good figure in the last race for those who know speed figures.
Yeah.
People have to pick this now. And then you got to give the second clue, Mike Mayo.
Okay. You want to hear the restaurant clue? Maybe we're going to recap. Okay. So again, the contest to win 2 Sunday brunch vouchers for 10 Palms here, overlooking the lovely Gulfstream Park racetrack. Again, what you do is we're going to give you these series of clues. You come up with the name of the restaurant that we want for this week's trivia question, and then along with that, you send in who you think is going to win this week's feature race, which is the Grade 1 $3 million Pegasus Cup, race number 13 on the Gulfstream program tomorrow. Field of 12. So if you don't know anything about the horses, just send a number between 1 and 12.
Pick a number.
Or you can actually send a name and a number if they actually coincide. Email it to me, MikeMayoEats@gmail.com by noon tomorrow. And again, if you want to just follow along with Samantha Perry, one of the horse racing
roll the dice with the 12, right?
12. And if you want to hedge, then you go with the 4. Again, that 4 and the 5 are my picks. Defo is picking the 7.
I'm boxing a 1-4-10 in the race.
1-4-10 has
in
no
honor
Skippy
of a
Longstocking.
friend of mine. Yeah, no Skippy. I'm leaving Skippy out.
Okay.
All right. So those are just some of the numbers you can use.
I explained it to him this morning.
I
clues. Left them out.
The clues are the first clue, and I don't know if you know this. This former South Florida Italian restaurant that pays tribute to the Rat Pack was co-founded by a thoroughbred trainer. And he's also an owner and breeder of thoroughbreds. And the original restaurant was in Deerfield Beach before moving to Boca Raton. And now that closed down, but now it resurrected the restaurant in Lexington, Kentucky, Horse Country. And it has the same name as when it was down here in South Florida.
A lot
You
of
know
pictures
that
of
one, Samantha?
No.
a lot
You
of
don't.
pictures of little
Do you
Mike
know
up
the
there.
trainer?
Yeah.
I'll tell you afterwards. But again, he's all right. Well, second
What's the
clue.
second clue? Yeah.
Second clue, and you know what? I got to do all the clues because we're at
May as well,
12:50
yeah,
already.
yeah. Because you've been
Yeah.
battling. All right.
You know, basically, it's
he hits one bet and he loses all perspective.
That's
It's
all right.
unbelievable.
It happens.
$30 double. Yeah.
if you combined My Way and Summer Wind with When the Moon Hits You by like I Like a Big Pizza Pie and a roast, that might give you the name.
All
if
right,
you combine
yeah,
My
yeah,
Way-
you had it with the first one.
My Way, Summer Wind, along with
This Bloody Mary is starting to be dictating
Uh,
the blues here on the
That's
show.
Amore and a roast. Do you
All
get
right.
the roast reference?
Give us
there?
the third clue, just in case people didn't understand that one like the rest of us.
Actually, this
Yeah.
this restaurant owner's the restaurant owner
Yeah.
actually trained and bred a horse that won a stakes race right here at Gulfstream a couple of weeks ago, and it was our contest feature race
Oh, okay.
of
All right.
the week. That was won by what was the name of the horse? Sweet Danny Girl, the one that I didn't bet because I was at the food festival and that I liked because of my daughter's name.
I'm thinking, Rat Pack. Rat Pack.
Rat
will come up
Pack,
with the name.
okay.
Rat Pack, yeah.
But the trainer who owns the restaurant,
2/3
founded
of
the
the Rat
restaurant.
Pack, yeah.
He actually won a race here with Sweet Danny Girl. So again, you could use your Google machine. Let's say I don't want
Place
to
was on Federal Highway.
I don't want to give you
Deerfield.
too many clues, but if you Google the horse Little Mike, Sweet Danny Girl, and trainer, you might come up with a name. And then if you Google that name and a restaurant, you might come up with a restaurant. We like to make things a little bit easy. So those are your clues for the week, for this week's contest. Do you think you know it at all?
It's
Do you
only
know
been
the
in town a
trainer?
short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, I
yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Okay. You know the trainer at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
That is excellent. All right. Well, any other have you found any restaurants that you love in town? Oh, he's saying
You're
break,
almost out of
break,
show
break,
here,
break.
Mayo.
Come on, we got it.
Come on with
It's
your-
the internet.
Well, have you
It's the
been to a
internet.
burger
It's
joint
the
called?
internet. They could always make more bandwidth. Favorite restaurant around town? So far?
Oh gosh, I'll have to circle back on that. I don't
Okay.
know if I have
There you go.
one.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your favorite food? Italian?
Oh, I don't discriminate, but I
I'm-
do love a good Italian food.
Right now
especially
it's
being in-
popcorn by the
All right,
smell of that
popcorn.
thing.
Oh
Smell
yeah,
it.
that
Wow.
smells great.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, Samantha, thank you for stopping by.
Thank
the
you
way.
Thank you
guys
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you for
guys.
giving out
Thanks
your,
everybody.
Expert opinions, and
Ah.
hopefully people will just be cashing on
Hope so.
O'Connor tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oodles and oodles.
We'll
of
see.
cash.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to be back on the Lunchbox after these words to wrap up this week's show.
People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent. You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
Oh, we're back on the Lunchbox. It's a glorious day. A little overcast, a little chilly, but I think it's
what's
wonderful.
the story? Is this going to be a one-day proposition, this sort of
front?
cooler temperature?
Yeah, I think
here?
it's supposed to be
Freaking
nice
amazing.
tomorrow. It's supposed to be beautiful
All right,
tomorrow.
nice.
And I'm cashing tickets, so it's beautiful
Yeah, I'm
right now.
proud.
Hey, I got to tell you about Greater Fort Lauderdale. They're welcoming all
Yes.
these people from out of town for this wonderful weekend of racing and also music. There's going to be all kinds of stuff going on out here
Yeah,
at
I'm super
Gulfstream
stoked.
Park tomorrow. You can still get tickets if you go on to GulfstreamPark.com. But Greater Fort Lauderdale, this is the type of stuff, this is the type of action that makes the Greater Fort Lauderdale, Broward area so exciting any time of the year, but particularly now where we welcome everyone under the sun. And that means all you foodies out there, the culinary explorers, cocktail connoisseurs, craft beer aficionados, and Bloody Mary mavens. They're all here. Come one, come all, and get ready to savor every flavor and every moment at more than 4,000 area restaurants. You know the drill. I mean, whether you want things along the beach or the intercoastal, that waterfront stuff, all the, people that just the outdoor vibe, decks and fresh air, that's all here. The beautiful cafes along Los Olas Boulevard. And don't forget, now we have James Beard Award recognized nominated chefs like Tim and Blue, who's going to come on with us next Wednesday at the Catherine. That's it. There, everybody is here. It's a world-class culinary scene. So come stay and play in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Don't forget the great nightlife scene, the Visit Lauderdale Ale Trail, along with speakeasies and rooftop bars. Never-ending celebration, Greater Fort Lauderdale. For all the latest in events, specials, deals, promotions, go to visitlauderdale.com.
Yeah, they're
All right, Defo, what do you
Yeah.
think?
About the weekend coming up?
Everything.
Wow.
The whole state of humanity.
I'm a little nervous about the fact that you and I are in agreement on the two games, the way they're going to come out on the NFL
Yeah, makes me
schedule
feel
there.
really
'cause
good.
And
I do like the Eagles. I don't have that big of an interest in either game, but I think the Eagles and the Bengals will prevail. But
yeah, and I'm scared because I'm just my picks come with a warning disclaimer.
Yes,
they could
yes,
be
they do.
hazardous to your wealth because I'm
Yeah, it's your
1-9 against the spread in this year's NFL playoffs. I'm a much better horse handicapper
Yeah, you've been doing
than
well with the horses.
playoffs.
and I hope you prosper over the weekend here.
I've even gone against my own. Usually, my system when I came on first with you
Yeah.
the
on your
food
morning
system was
show
pretty
as the
solid.
Gambling Gourmet, my method was pretty simple.
Yeah.
What city would I rather eat and stay in and
Eat the
have restaurant experiences? And this week, the games, championship
San Fran's
games,
going to win.
San Francisco,
of the four.
one of the
Yeah.
best food towns, not just in America but the world.
Philly has its interesting.
Philly
places,
has
yeah.
a good,
Philly's supposed to
very
come up a
vibrant
lot.
food
Yeah,
scene.
yeah.
I mean, they're
But-
actually known for something, as is San Francisco. I mean, known for something very
Besides
specific.
the
In this case, the
cheesesteaks, they actually
cheesesteak.
have
Yeah.
a really good restaurant scene in Philly.
Yeah, but they have a lot of
you
places.
put
yeah.
a gun to my
But it's
head,
not San
I'm going
Francisco.
San
Fran
Francisco
every time.
all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Same thing. Cincinnati, as much as I love Skyline Chili, one cannot live on Skyline Chili
No.
alone. In fact, one can
In fact,
die
one's
pretty
unlikely
simply.
to live long on Skyline Chili. Yeah.
But Kansas City has a really good, vibrant
The barbecue-
scene,
yeah, the
steaks
barbecue
and
scene.
barbecue Arthur Bryant's. So again, if I went with my old system, food, It would
got
be
Casey and
Casey and
San
San
Fran.
Fran. Instead, my new system, which I'm trying to like actually handicap the game,
Yeah,
Horrendous.
he's a
I'm
losing
going
system.
heavy on Philly
Yeah.
and Cincinnati.
Yeah, don't do that.
So I am at cross purposes with myself. I think I'll just stick to the horses this week.
All right. Well, and your pick was what? White Barrio? Is that going to be the winner?
What did
Pegasus?
I say it was? No, well, I think it's going to be defunded. So it's a defunded White Barrio,
Very
a
nice.
5-4 exactor with a little bit of 10.
And you're hot, which
and
is good.
11 as a long shot. Don't forget the 11
Good as
horse,
kid, a degenerate,
which
he's like 1
is
year
the
old.
horse that I completely forgot because I was talking
You see
about on
him
your
telling
morning
his mother
show.
to bet the
Right
6?
here.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was great.
Oh, here it is. Stiletto Boy. Don't leave out the number 11 with Mike Smith in the in your picks because he's going to make your trifectas. Number 11.
Everybody
30 to 1
enjoying
shot.
the Pegasus out here
Yes.
tomorrow.
You should
on
head out to
TV on
Gulfstream.
NBC.
Come on
Yeah,
out.
Can't
I'll be
make it.
here hanging out a little bit.
Oh, good for you.
And yeah, that's it. Oh, next week's going to be
There's
gangbuster
a lot
action.
going on.
We're going to be Monday at Shenanigans with our friend Pat Utter, and Dave Hyde's going to call in. And then we've got Tuesday at Grandpa's in Dania, and I don't know which of the two you can choose. We'll excuse you from one and
All right,
let
yeah.
you come to the other.
May head down to Grandpa's on
All right,
Tuesday.
that's Tuesday. Next Wednesday, we'll talk to Team Baloo, recognized along with
Nice.
many others in the James Beard Award semifinalist nomination round. And then Thursday, Wicked Cheesesteaks.
I love that place.
We'll
yeah.
see if
I
Brian
love that,
has
yeah.
my roast pork sandwich that he's going to name after me.
Brian's a character, man.
Yes,
He's a
yes,
great
please
guy.
try it. Man, we
Yeah.
gotta try
Wicked
it. It's
Cheesesteaks.
roast
He had a blast out here, and I gave him some
Great
winners.
lobster roll deal.
He
Great
left
lobster roll.
happy.
Yeah.
He didn't go all the way with what I said. He ended up trying to get a long shot last week, but he ended up putting in 38. He got back 36. So that's
Stick with Mayo, man. You get most of your money
on
back.
horses.
Yeah.
Next Friday, of course, we'll be back at
Right
Gulfstream
back
Park with food.
Yeah.
So that's it, everybody. Have a great week. Thanks for tuning in. It's always a blast, especially when I'm well lubricated with my Bloody Mary. And
I think
had
that's
a
now a
piece-
prerequisite for the show.
I had a
Make
stick
sure
of
he has one
celery.
before every show.
That was the
Yeah.
best piece of celery, and I think they consider that a vegetable too. So
Yeah, no, it had protein,
I'm eating healthy today.
vitamin G or
All
whatever. yeah.
right. Thanks to Samantha Perry for stopping by.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks to Lubie for all he does.
And
Thanks
thank you
to
for being
Defo
with us.
for not ragging on me too hard today. Thanks to Dickstein because we had fun last night at the Rib and Evan Darnell. And I'll just stop talking now. Have a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
weekend.
You can sign off anytime.
What time is it?
Yeah.
Can I go till
We're well past
102?
time.
We're good.
You're way out of it.
We're
All
well
right.
past.
Everybody have a great weekend. Be healthy, drive safe, and enjoy every sandwich.